Hey guys, welcome to this next YouTube video. Today we're going to give you a drill to really master your sloping putts and your green reading. Let's get into the video. So as I was saying in the intro, in this video I'm going to show you a drill to really try and improve your visualization on green reading, which should hopefully help you out with your sloping putts. As you can see here, what I've got is I've got 3 tees and a ghost hole. You don't necessarily need the ghost hole, but I'm going to use the ghost hole for the sake of the video just to show you a bit of a better demonstration. What I've done is I've measured out a 10-foot putt. I've got a tee marking my 10 feet distance to the hole. Then I've got the rest of the things going on 2/3 of the way. And this is called the 2/3 drill for that exact reason. So 2/3 of the way, you can see here on this tee, the first tee, this is the straight line of the putt. So this matches up perfectly with the ball I'm playing and then the hole. And that's 2/3 of the way on that same line. Okay, then what I've got here is the fun part, and this is all about the sloping putt. Okay, so I've got a ghost hole which is right in the middle of the further tee, and then I've got my further tee. Okay, and let's explain what these mean now. So as I was saying, this first tee here represents the straight line of the putt. The further tee is going to be our start line. Obviously this is always going to change relative to where the slope's heading, but the back tee is always the start line of the putt. So this is where you want to start the ball on 9. That's the straight line of the putt, and this is the start line of the putt. The ghost hole is a representation of where the ball should roll over, okay? Because 2/3 of the way is where the ball should roll in between the straight line of the putt and the start line of the putt. This is because the first 2/3 is going to be where the putt breaks from the start line to the ghost hole. That's why it's going to roll over that ghost hole after 2/3. Then obviously because the putt's slowing down, it's going to break more. The reason why it breaks the same amount in the first 2/3 as it does in the last third is because it's rolling at a much quicker pace in the first 2/3, because that's the initial hit. So obviously when the putt's rolling at a quicker pace, it's not going to break as much. Obviously in the last third, it's going to break that second 50%, because that's when the ball's slowing down, almost coming to a stop, and that's when that ball is going to start to break more. So the putt's going to break the same amount in the first 2/3 as what it does in the last third, purely just down to pace. And this is just a good diagram just so you can see and visualize not only where you've got to start the ball, but where the ball's got to roll over to eventually then go in the hole. If I hit this putt perfect, I'm going to aim perfectly at this tee and I'm going to start the ball on that tee line. That's then going to allow it to break that first bit in the first 2/3, so it's going to roll over the ghost hole. Then obviously where the putt's slowing down, it's going to break that second bit in the last third. Okay, so the way to think about it is the first 50% of the break is going to be in the first 2/3, the last 50% of the break is going to be in the last third. Because obviously that's where that break is going to really come into play when the ball's slowing down. So obviously there's no right or wrong with this drill, okay? These two here can be moved wherever. If the slope is quite significant, then my start line is going to be higher. That means the break-in point in between the start line and the straight line of the putt is going to be moved higher as well. So the ghost hole is always going to be in between the start line and the straight line of the putt, just like so. If it's a really minimal break and I only need to aim here, then that means after 2/3, my ball's only going to roll over this point, because it's going to be in the middle of the start line and the straight line of the putt. So for all sloping putts, there's no right or wrong. If you want to play it a little bit harder, you can play it on this line. If you want to play it a little bit softer, then move your start line up. That obviously means your ghost hole and your curve point is going to move up as well. So when you find yourself practicing sloping putts, I recommend setting up this diagram. Obviously play around with the different start line and the different curve point, but try and find that right slope. And it's going to take a little bit of trial and error, which is absolutely fine. But when you have it laid down correctly, like I do here, when you come to practicing this putt, the visualization of that start line and that curve point is going to really help me understand the slope and just make me overall better at sloping putts. So if I always have in my head that I'm going to aim at that start line, what should happen is it should roll over the ghost hole and then go in the hole. So after a few attempts, that was probably one of my better ones there. You can see I aimed it at that start line tee. Then in the first 2/3, it broke that 50% of the way, so it broke in line with the curve point. Then when it started to slow down in the last third, that's when it broke that second 50%. So me just practicing that drill and even missing some putts and sort of understanding, oh, I hit that one too hard, or I hit that one too soft, or I played that one on a too high line, or I played that one on a too lower line. This sort of feedback after every putt is really going to be beneficial, because not every putt you hit is going to be perfect. So it's so important to understand why you missed and where you can improve next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed that drill called the 2/3 drill. I'd recommend giving it a go, as it's really going to improve your visualization, which is going to improve not only your green reading, but your sloping putts. Both are linked in quite heavily. And just by understanding how far you need to aim on certain putts and understanding how the ball breaks and where it breaks and sort of the different percentages, it's really going to help you out when you come to not only green read, but when you come to hit a sloping putt on the course. Again, it's all about being the best guesser, and just training simple drills like this is just going to improve your guesswork and just make you a far better estimator when on the greens, which should then hopefully allow you to hole a few more sloping putts. If you can hole a few sloping putts in a round, then generally you probably have a pretty good round on the greens, okay? Because they're probably the hardest putts that you're going to be faced with. So try that drill for me, let me know how you get on. You can do it on many different styles of putts, many different slopes. Start on a right to left, then go to a left to right, and then go uphill, downhill, and use the same fundamentals on the drill. If you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the video.